In this video, guys, I'm going to show you how you can design a search menu using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. At the end of this video, you should have a design that looks just like this. Okay, we have two columns. We have our search field. Once you type the name of an item, it brings it up automatically, hiding all other lists of items. Likewise, if we go ahead and say graphics, it brings up graphics. So this does a kind of filtering out unwanted list when you type in the box to search for a particular item. So we are going to see how we can create the design. For us to achieve this, I'm going to jump into our editor, and I would declare our document type. I'm going to say document type. Okay, HTML. Okay, next we can bring up our HTML tag proper, but I can go ahead and save this. So we'll say save as. I'm going to give it a name. I'll say search menu dot html or HTML. I'm going to save this on the desktop. So I go ahead and click on save. Then I'll comments proper. I'm going to bring so I'm going to say HTML, the HTML tag proper. Okay, next we are going to define our meta type. So I'll say meta name, which is viewport. Content is equal to the width, which is equal to the device. Okay, this line will allow our design to take the width or the shape of all devices where it is being called upon. Okay, it's going to take by default the shape of that device. So I'm going to scale it. Say initial scale equal to 1. Okay, I'm going to take this out from here and bring it here. Okay, so now we're going to commence with our styling, CSS proper. So I'm going to introduce the tag style, and first I'm going to define a style for the body. So I'll say body. I'm going to say body. Okay, for the body, the font family. I'm going to use Arial. Okay, the box sizing. So I'm going to say box sizing, defining the size of the box. Or the type of the box rather. So I'm going to use border box. So next I'm going to create a column layout for this design, and to do that, simply define a class dot row. I'll say display flex. Okay, so next I'm going to also define a left column for the menu, the list of items, and to do that, define a class. I'll call it dot left. Okay, for this I'll say flex. I need it to be 35%, and I want the padding to be 14 pixel 0. Okay, I'm also going to define a left class. Okay, for our header and the content of the design, h2, I'm going to pad it. So I'll say padding left 7 pixel. Okay, we're going to have the right column, so I'm going to also define a class for the right column for our design. So I'll say dot right. Say flex. Of course, I'm going to use, okay, let me use 63%. And padding I'm going to use 13 pixel. Okay, so next I'm going to style the search box proper. Okay, defining an ID for it. I'm going to call it my search. Okay, I'm going to define the width. %. The font size, the size of our text, with 18 pixel. In the search box, padding 11 pixel, border 1 pixel, and should be solid, and I'm going to give it this color. Okay, so we are done with the search box styling. So next I'm going to style the navigation menu, which is inside the left column. So I'm going to define an ID for this. I'll call it my menu. So I'll say list style type none, padding called 0, margin should be 0. Okay, so next I'm going to style the links for the items, the respective items. I'm going to style the link. So to do that, I'm going to also define an ID for this. I'll say my menu the list link. Okay, the list link. Let's say padding for this 12 pixel. Text decoration, none. I don't need any. Color should be black. That's the font color. And display block. Okay, so next I'm going to define the hover element for the links. I'm also going to define an ID for this. So I'm going to say my menu, which is the list. Link hover the background color, defining the background color for this. So I'll say background color. Okay, I'll give it this color. And with this, we are done with the styling. So close the styling here. So I'm going to close the head. Okay, I have to be sure that I've opened the head tag already. I have to be sure we should be after the HTML tag. So I'll go up, back up, and see there's no head tag here. So of course I'm supposed to have head. Okay, so I move downwards. Okay, we have closed the head tag, and here we can now bring in the content of our page proper. And to do that, I'm going to just beneath the head tag closure, I'm going to say body. Okay, we have the div, the class using here is the row. Okay, beneath this I'm going to have the div class, which I've also defined left for it. So the inline style, so background color, I'm going to use Azure. Okay, using Azure. Okay, and in between this I'm simply going to do this. Okay, for bringing our h2 is for our header, len, okay, I'm going to bring in the list. the list of items we have. To do that, I'm going to say input type is going to be for our search field. The input type here is going to be text. I'm going to call the ID, which we have defined above, called my search. Okay, and this will take place on an event on key up. And key up is equal to my function, which will be called very soon. We're going to define the function, my function. Okay, and placeholder. But in the field, we are going to have this by default search. Okay, and the title is equal to we'll say type in a category. Okay, and for the items, I'm going to say UL ID is equal to my menu, which we have defined. Okay, the first item, say LI. Bring in our link. We're going to define this. Okay, let's say programming is going to be the first. Programming. Okay, and we've closed the link here. We'll also close the list here. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to copy and paste, and I'll change this. Webdesign. Paste here. Change this to graphics. Paste here. And call this database. Call this HTML. Okay, I'm going to call this CSS. I'm going to call this SQL. We'll call this Bootstrap. And I'm going to call this Javascript. So you can put in any list of items when you are carrying out your practice or your actual design. Okay, So this is closed here. Okay, and the div is also closed here. The div tag, we're also going to, I'm going to create another one here. Okay, the class for this is going to be for the content on the right part of the design of our page. So I'm going to also style this. Okay, I'm going to use the background color. I'll use lavender. Okay, and the content, of course, we are going to have this. Okay, I'm going to say coding is fun, which is actually true. Coding is fun. Okay, next we're going to introduce a paragraph, and I'll say start to type for a specific category inside the search bar to filter an option. Okay, so we have the start close here and close the other tag. Okay, this is also close here. So I'm going to go through this to be sure we are okay at this point. I think I need to correct this list. Okay, okay, we are good to this point. So next I'm going to bring in our JavaScript, and to commence JavaScripting, we'll always introduce the script tag, telling HTML that whatever you have after this should be considered JavaScript. Okay, so we define a function, say function my function, so next I'm going to declare list of variables. I'll say var, call the first variable input. The next I'll say filter. Okay, the UL, have the LI, a link, and I. Okay, so these are variables we're working with. So next I'm going to say input is equal to document dot get element by ID. And what ID are we getting? My search. So I'll say my search, which we have also declared before the function proper. So next I'm going to say filter is equal to input dot value dot to uppercase So this function actually does the filtering of the list of items. When we start typing, it triggers and does a search to see the word or words that are related to what we are typing in. So I'll have say to uppercase. Okay, so next I'm going to say UL is equal to document dot get element by ID, and the ID we're calling here is my menu. So I'm going to say my menu. Okay, so next I'm going to say li is equal to ul dot get element by ID. Okay, by tag name rather, and the tag we are calling here is the list, which is li. I'm going to create our loop here. I'm going to create our loop. I'm going to say for I equal to 0, I less than the length of the list, which is li dot length. Okay, increments I. Okay, then I'm going to say a equal to an array of the list is I dot get element by tag name. Okay, li. I'm going to introduce okay, I'm going to introduce an if statement. See, go back here, tag name, calling the link, the array of the link. Okay, the array of the link. Now I'll bring it. I'm going to bring the if statement. If a dot inner html dot to uppercase dot index of filter. Okay, this is greater than -1. Okay, we perform this the lists. style dot display. Okay, so this hides those items that are not relevant. It's going to hide it here. Okay, so if it's not amongst what we are looking for, so don't display it. Okay, so I'm going to do this here. Else li the style dot display is equal to none. Okay, let's have this here. Take this out and have this a column close here. So we're going to look at our curly bracket. Okay, you're supposed to have one here closed. I'm going to close this. So I'm having, okay, this is 1, this is 2, okay, and this is 3. So I'm going to take this out from here. Okay, a inner, okay, upper to case. Okay, we're supposed to close this somewhere here. Okay, to upper dot index. Yes, this is it here. Supposed to have it here. Okay, yes, so we are good. This is closed here, this is closed here. Okay, this is this. Okay, yes, so we are fine. Okay, so when doing this, you have to ensure that for every curly bracket you open just like this, you must close it, ensure it is closed. Okay, and your brackets, ensure they are also closed appropriately. Once you ensure all this, can I go ahead and close the scripting. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. I already have 1, 2 and 3 here, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this out, and that's why you can see that we're having it red here. It means that there's an issue or an error with this, so it's going to be a bug at the end of coding. So I'm going to take this out, ensure that you have a corresponding bracket for this, each of them. We have them in green, that means we are good. Okay, so we have our script closed. I'm going to bring this up a bit. Okay, our body is closed here. Bring it up a bit, and HTML is also closed here. Okay guys, so for the scripting we have to be sure, let's quickly go through these and be sure we have our syntax right and we have no bug, else we go ahead and debug them. Okay, of course it is allowed for you to have bugs, but you should be able to detect those bugs and also debug them. Okay, okay, right, so you can also have your design with different content. You can decide to increase the number of items you have in your list and see how it works. Okay, so we can go ahead and save these, save all, or go to the desktop. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what we have. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and say graphics, and we have this option coming up. And when I say I can go back, it brings up all what we have. I can go ahead and say programming, and it brings it up. You can see web design, it brings it up. So guys, this is how you can go about creating a search menu for your design using CSS, using HTML and JavaScript. Okay, so I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.